Good afternoon all, I am Richard of the White Walkers and I am here streaming a game between Francisco, who is playing Night's Watch Greensight, and Xinyu Yi, otherwise known as Ageon, playing Targaryen Kings of Summer. So yeah, hello everybody. It's a Saturday afternoon. I don't feel that well, but I am committed to the stream for you guys, and also it's a little bit quieter away from the baby, so that's nice. So let's see, Night's Watch Greensight. First thing I'm thinking of is 6 cost wall. Hey Connor, how's it going? Got a very bad headache, which I'm sure you can sympathise with. I've already tried to nap it off and it has eased a little bit, but oh no, I think it's going to be an early night tonight. Anyhow, Night's Watch Greensight, yes, I'm thinking new wall, steely tech, Targ Summer feels like Dothraki. They would be my initial conceptions. And yeah, it seems like I'm correct on both counts. So Francisco sets up Rose Road, Queen's Crown and the Bay of Seals, as well as Yoren. Not an ideal setup with Yoren, but he kept it nonetheless. He's obviously got March to the Wall to get rid of it at any point. And Xinyu Yi has played Lirio the State and 2 Blood Riders and Viserys Targaryen. It's going to be good to counter Womb with Queen's Crown. Yes. Yeah, there's going to be some interesting interaction between these two decks. With Targ Summer undoubtedly going to be playing overwhelming numbers and wanting characters in the discard pile, and Night's Watch Greensight kind of liking cards in the discard pile. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic between the two decks. Didn't point out earlier that Francisco does have a card in Shadow, so he kept the 5 card setup. So we have the first Snow of Winter, so that Yoren is coming back to hand for Francisco, and Xinyu will bring back Viserys and the Blood Rider, Devoted Blood Rider. The Greensight reveals Viserys and the Wall. Well, I would imagine they will get drawn. They do get drawn. So he's given the Targaryen player a Viserys duplicate, which can mean Viserys won't leave play if he dupes him. So it can give him a little bit of board presence. Francisco's not got a lot of gold. He's going to have 4 gold. But the same goes for the Targ player. Targ player collects 3. It's only 3 because there is a winter plot. So he marshalled the Skahazadam. Forest Patrol or Old Tattersalt is your guess for the Shadows card. Yeah, for some reason my first thought was Janos Slint. But certainly Forest Patrol gives him some usage out of the Bay of Seals. At this point he hasn't stolen anything. Old Tattersalt, I've seen a lot of play. I don't know much about that card actually. I don't think I've ever played it myself. Could also be Blackbird, yes. So we're still here with the Targaryen player. So we have Kotho, Discarded Missandei. Duplicating Kotho. Will he duplicate Viserys? Because Kotho has been redesigned to only be active on a summer plot. Of course, Exchange is a summer plot. So Zinyu decided not to use the King's Road. So I guess maybe he does not have a 4-cost character. One of the prime candidates is already on the board. Let's see what Francisco can do. Blood Riders and Dothraki are generally okay with the first Snow of Winter. They don't care really about their 3-cost or lower characters. And they do have some jumping mechanics. Kotho being the primary one, but they also have Aegon into raiding Khalasars. So I guess they don't care quite so much. So first Snow of Winter hits. So Francisco marshalled the improved fortifications and Viserys removed the improved fortification. That's probably a misplay. A minor one, no doubt, but you know, probably something he wouldn't have bothered doing if he'd have thought about it. Because I doubt he played improved fortification just to get rid of it. War gets taken for intrigue claim. That's unfortunate for Night's Watch. Yep, again in the chat, the comments, Connor has said we will likely see March next turn. I don't disagree with that. It's set up for a good March. Going to remove something impactful. Not the duped Kotho at this point, but getting rid of Rakharo is still good. Putting it in the discard pile. So let's see some more Scar Hazardan. We know there's a Missandei to discard, so that's going to get the new Yi 3 gold. In addition to his plot, he has a King's Road and an Illyrio Estate. So the Targaryen player is going to be swimming in gold and has going to have 9 cards in the hand. Going to have 11 cards when it comes to marshalling, minus the Missandei that will hit the board. Francisco, less clear what he will marshal. Of course, I mean if he plays marched, you're going to get 5 gold plus underground vault plus some Iron Bank possibilities. It'll take some time for the Iron Bank to ramp up. Hello Eugene, I hope you are well. Right, exchanged into marched. Double exchange, that's the restricted card of choice. Eugene, is there any deck that you like? Because you don't like Burn, you don't like Dothraki, you don't like Greyjoys, you don't like Stark. In fact, the only thing I think you do like is the dreaded orange faction. Maybe some of the red faction. So you can see Francisco running the last of the giants. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Varys in the list. Now, some people don't like running Varys in their new wall list because it's not selective in what goes into the discard pile. Tired, huh? Waiting for your traitor guardman for kill team. Waiting patiently. Right, lots of Dothraki hitting the board. Plaza of Pride. Ago, who will stand a Blood Rider and a devoted Blood Rider. Lacking some power icons at the moment. No Khal Drogo. Rakharo has been marched. Someone's at the door. Yeah, I think Rebecca's doing some sort of transaction, selling some shoes for a fiver. This transaction is still going on, so I'm being covert. I don't want this random person at the door thinking I'm some sort of nerd, because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing a live stream for 2 viewers of some card game that no one's ever heard of. Francisco plays hard home. So that's going to encourage Xinyu Yi to kneel his board. Balerion not going to die. Nice. This is nice going as second player because hard home creates a threat to any of the kneeling characters, non-kneeling characters I should say. So if the Targaryen player doesn't kneel out all of his military icons, he's at a threat of hard home, but if he does, Balerion, the 1 strength cat, can attack, although Plaza of Pride mitigates that a little bit. Expecting possibly a way to get rid of the duplicate of Kotho. I don't know, maybe Mutiny will do that. Mutinying Yoren is good because you get another use of him. He's chipping away at the target player's character in the discard. And then you've got 1 juicy target for the wall if you can find it. The unopposed power coming through. No claim to take, just for the unopposed power. Sacrifices, so Kotho's got to kneel. Can't run the risk of leaving him standing now, so you must do the intrigue with Kotho. Unless, yeah, that's fine, because if he'd have left Kotho standing, Francisco would attack with Balerion and he'd have to kneel Kotho for that. Otherwise, if you know this guy, he's the only standing character that can go. Bay of Seals can stand Kotho. What does it do? Kneel to yes! Nice! Or not nice, depending on your perspective. Use Aggo to stand Aggo. So Devoted Blood Rider kept standing to avoid hard home shenanigans. Our target player is up to 5 now. So standing Kotho wasn't impactful in the end. But it's nice to give our Chinese friend here the option of Kotho or Devoted Blood Rider, rather than saying you must sacrifice your Blood Rider. Well, I guess it didn't really matter, Francisco, because, you know, you weren't going to use the Bay of Seals before it stood again. Late Summer Feast into Close Call. I'm guessing, Francisco, you've not practiced the deck much, if at all. And I've said many times before, this is definitely a game that rewards repetitions. You know, the more you play a deck, the easier and quicker the decisions come. You can't expect to be amazing at a deck having just 1 or 2 attempts, I suppose. Harder still when you're playing a faction which is not your preferred faction. So for a Tyrell player, doesn't really have many Night's Watchy style decks. So to play Night's Watch, it's a very different mindset required. By round 3, what are we going to have? We have the wall. That becomes an interesting game. A couple of freedmen in there and the devoted blood rider. So the wall's not going to be taking anything amazing at this stage. Of course, if the target player does win by 5, he might be reluctant to trigger the freedmen. Vamos, Choco! Yes, indeed. Let's go, Francisco. We do not have many Chilean players in this tournament, although we do have quite a few Chilean players that play the game. Behave yourself, Connor. No one plays shadow politics. It was our Tat Assault. Add mutiny to hand. That's good to know. Is that the best time to do it? Maybe after an intrigue. Who knows? Alright, so he's going to get freedmen now. So his board is wider. Xinyu does have a summer plot, so Ago can stand either himself or Kotho. He has Plaza of Pride and a source of cards if Francisco wins challenges through Late Summer Feast. We have Jogo hitting the board, Viserys, there aren't any attachments, played by Francisco. Lots of characters now. Right, set his stall out. Still got 7 cards in hand before gold to play and a King's Word. Kaholo. Okay, that's a good use for Late Summer Feast draw card. To get rid of your worst card, use Intimidate with Kaholo. So the mutiny, if it doesn't get taken for intrigue claim, how exactly does, let's just check the wording, choose a character, yeah, so Francisco will sacrifice Yoren undoubtedly to discard. Kotho is discard, right? Yep, discard. If Kotho is saved, potential Valar Morghulis anyway. Viserys is the only thing remaining, but that's not too much of a threat. But the board wipe is on the card. We know almost certainly there's going to be some sort of Varys in the deck with the Last of the Giants. I'm just going to keep this open actually because it is relevant when someone is playing a wall deck to see what's in the opponent's discard pile. So let's keep that active. Are the cards too small on the screen for you guys? Would you like me to biggen them up? Because I could embiggen the screen if you wish it embiggened. Not entirely sure if that's an official word, Eugene. Okay, Balerion the cat Tried to attack a Blood Rider, defended. Okay, fine for you, good to know. Good day, Riley Proudmoore. So overall, what faction have outperformed all of the others? Well, I think it would obviously be in this tournament where you can tech against specific faction. The overperforming faction, I would say, is Martell, considering how bad they are. What is that 4-cost 6-drink dude on Targ? That is Kaholo. Let's bring that up. Yeah, Kaholo. He's 6-strength because the Devoted Blood Rider, Intimidate, no icon, but just discard a card and he will participate. Yeah, I'd say Martell has outperformed all the others in this tournament. They're supposedly really bad because they got 104 cards, not just 4 cards restricted, but they seem alright. They seem to be a winning game still. Baratheon are doing well, Stark are doing well. Stark will always do well in these formats because they have such a wide variety of decks and multiple different ways they can play. Baratheon are doing well, I think. Ultimately, I guess it can come down to how well players can tech against factions and how well you know your opponent's faction. Yeah, Martell is in this tourney. I wish they weren't. I mean, I'll be fine if they got rid of Martell and Night's Watch from the entire game. That'd be great, actually. Gonna houseball that. Majoran dying for claim. That's interesting. I'm surprised perhaps that he didn't kill the freedman so he could mutiny Yoren. What's the plan with the new House Aaron stuff? Bring in Aaron, get rid of Martell. You know what, Aaron, the cards at the moment, to be honest, to me look like Night's Watch cards. A lot of them are very defensive and stop you from doing shit. Not impressed. Not my bag, not my cup of tea, so definitely don't make Aaron a faction. No, Connor, you can't play your Night's Watch Song deck when you come to Northampton unless you're playing at the bottom tables and I'm playing at the top tables. So Kaholo doing some Intimidate. We've had Missandei discarded, so we have a duped Missandei. So even the mutiny into Valar trick isn't that impressive. I'd still do it if I was Francisco. Sand Snake deck. Yeah, actually, Sand Snake deck is probably the only kind of Martell deck that I could tolerate. I just don't like the Laughter of the Giants, Varys, Reset, First Snow, Valar Morghulis, Valar Dohaeris, March to the Wall. Just those bullshit Martell decks. And I also don't like the ones that just have 27 plots in the used pile and then you've got Host of the Boneway doing a 27 strength military challenge, intimidate your guy. But what's this? Windblown just stood them again, so now it's a 27 strength intrigue challenge and Durand game for 27. Yeah, crap. Oh no, Mutiny got discarded. That's the second time an important card has been discarded for intrigue claim. That makes a big difference because it means Francisco probably doesn't Valar next round now. Randomness indeed. Well, this is the game, you know. You accept that when you lose intrigue challenges, you're gonna get cards taken. Valar to Harrison to March to the solid player if you expect a reset. March is obviously fine against Harris and Morghulis. Both players pick freedmen. And Targ keep Kotho, Jogo and Viserys. Sensible. Viserys is singularly duped. Kotho duped. Jogo important power icon with stealth. Yeah, it does. You know, soft control isn't pleasant to play against when it's consistently good and will kneel out your important thing every single round. But you know, they do have their weaknesses, I suppose. But still, you know, it's never nice to. I don't like playing against soft control much. You know, playing against Neil isn't fun. Playing against icon stripping isn't always fun. But then, you know, hard control like Targ Burn, I don't mind so much. Francisco taking more freedmen with the wall. Here he is, the Cal of Cals. So you've got 6 cost Drogo, the one with 6 strength, and you can discard a card to save an army or Dothraki character from being returned to your hand. Also with renown. You know, he's not as good as the core Drogo. He's kind of like a hipster choice, isn't he? You play this Drogo if you want to show off to your mates how good you are. You think, look at all the cool tricks I can do. I can keep my characters on the board. And then someone plays Valar Morghulis and you're sad. Still annoying. Well, all of your opponent cards are annoying. That's what they're trying to do, be annoying. If your opponent cards aren't annoying, then they're not beating you, are they? Pardon me. I don't think this game is going to end this round. But there's not a lot left Francisco can do. Unless he takes control a little bit more of the board. You've got no power on your house card for the Targ player to take. That will slow the game down somewhat. Two messenger ravens, that's going to be nice to try and draw into another mutiny, I suppose. Because if you can do those mutiny a dupe off Kotho, then it's definitely worth playing Valar Morghulis. And maybe he could try and wrest control back because he'll have enough gold on his Iron Bank to pay for whatever characters he can draw. Unfortunately for him, the war is only going to be taking freedmen. And then maybe a Missandei before you can actually get to some juicy Blood Riders. Yep, but I can get rid of conditions really easily. If they have Maester Crescent. They don't really run much Crescent anymore, I don't think. Not now Sweet Sleep had become a thing. Since Sweet Sleep had been released, I think the need for questing has gone down to maybe a 1-of in Barra deck. And then they just play Sweet Sleep on their Melisandres. But 5-cost locations now. Yeah, obviously they're very strong. They cost 5. You think the 4-cost locations were annoying, like Harrenhal, Stark, Harrenhal, Lannister, Women of the World. You thought the 4-cost locations were annoying. And the 5-cost location take it one step further. Pike and Storm's End, possibly the most strongest 2. That might be why you don't like them. What faction do you like, Riley? Tell me. Francisco need to see Blackbird, says Connor. Yes. For a recurring Tattersalt to draw more important cards. Maybe a little bit late for the Blackbird. Yeah, Francisco opposing, trying to keep the power total down. Sensible. Johan goes for Intrigue Claim, which is absolutely useless because he's already dead. So maybe our Targ playing friend here is not the luckiest Intrigue Claimer of all time. The power challenge coming in, it'll be unopposed, so he'll get 1 power, and he will not take dominance unless he stands the character with Plaza of Pride. There are no summer plots in play. No aggro in play anyway. Forgot he'd gone. There was the Valar D. Yeah, no claim, just the unopposed. We'll see if Targaryen will allow Night's Watch here to take dominance. He does not. So he wants to take dominance, as that will be 12-0 at the end of this round. So obviously Francisco need to trigger both of his messenger ravens and try and get that mutiny, clear the dupe off Kotho, and then play Valar Morghulis. And he will still have quite a lot of gold. Oh, we've got another option here. Laughter the Giant, Jaqen H'ghar. Well, that's the unfortunate consequence of Targ using the Plaza of Pride early. Because now there will be not enough intrigue. Yeah, intrigue 5 by Jaqen. Probably going to kill off Kotho's dupe. So Riley, you like Tyrell and Lannister. Lannister do need better cards. They just haven't really had many good cards since early in the game. I think they just need a direction. Because a lot of their cards are good, but the direction's not really there. You know, Stark, they like to stand. You know, Targaryen have Burn and Dothraki that do things on military challenge. But what did Lannister really do? They have them sort of kill if you have more cards in hand, but that theme's not very strong. A 7-cost Marjorie would be good, within balance of course. Not sure if there's one in the works with the design team. Judging from the 12 cards they brought out, probably not. Highgarden, I think, is the most underwhelming 5-cost location. So there's no way of standing Jaqen, so he's going to die now. Dominance is taken by Targaryen. 1 Messenger Raven, draw a card. 2 Messenger Raven to draw a card. Now, of course, if you can mutiny here to get rid of Viserys dupe, not that it's amazingly important, but if you do, Nope. So no more freedmen in the discard pile of our Targ player. Morgulis into Late Summer Feast. Both players obviously expecting this reset. Missandei is still alive, and that's probably the card that will get given to Francisco for the wall. I would imagine Xinyu Yi would like to see overwhelming numbers, provided he could get some Dothraki on the board. Return to the field would have been an excellent play by Targaryen, but in King of Summer it's less likely. Yeah, you're right, Garden of the Realm. Good to get the chuds out of the discard pile, as is Yoren, who is dead unfortunately. But yeah, that's a good comment. Good spot. So, Calasan Underground Vault, both discarded. Francisco had no claim this round, so it's just a case of trying to build a bigger board. Queen crowning all those non-characters back to the bottom of the deck. Four gold collected. Underground Vault going to get him to 6 plus 6 on the Iron Bank, so 12 resources. And through it all, the cat stays solid. Maybe Francisco isn't even running Varys. Maybe Francisco is just running impactful neutrals like Lysa Arryn, Jaqen H'ghar, Mag the Mighty, characters like that who can just make a really big impact on the opponent's board. I would run a Varys myself, I would. So interestingly, Targ gave the sole military icon. You know, Francisco has no claim, so giving him extra icons seemed pretty bad. We have left hand Lou. Interesting, in this game we have left hand Lou and left hand Lucas Cod. Something to do with left hands. Isle of Raven, Messenger Raven, so it doesn't really have anything of impact. Probably would really have liked something like the Veteran Builder who could then sack and stand the wall, and then you could trigger the wall again. Maybe he has lost his right hand to the foot. High Garden doesn't seem like a 5 cost. It would be better if you're also able to return spies, so it could work with Autumn. The problem with that is you'd have to make it allowable to return non-unique characters to your hand, and that is just... I mean, no one wants to see House Florent Knight every single turn, do we? Because that just seems terrible. Spies, not so bad. You do have the event that does that now, right, to increase the claim. More support for Francisco here. Lots of support. 2 people now voicing their approval for Francisco and his play. Problem Francisco has is no power icons and no claim. So he might not want to do any challenges to give power claim to the Targ player. Targ player is definitely going to get an unopposed power and hit with a military challenge. So of course that'll be 1 power. Not sure actually they will win dominance, but it looks like Targaryen are finally running out of cards, running out of options. However, we do have an unexpected return. Who will make an unexpected return? Some of those are dead. Kotho's dead. And Jogo's dead, but Jogo's not in the discard. So yeah, just Kotho's dead. So any one of these could make an unexpected return. Would prefer probably a green icon, but might have to go with something a bit more impactful, like Haro, because the claim will be higher. No point doing power, so 2 claim military. Interesting, the Scar Hazardan had become useless at this point, because what you really want is cards, not money. So military for 10. Akaro is going to do some discard, and it's going to be 2 military claim. So I expect we'll see a defense here, just to block the unopposed, and the 2 claim is going to be the Devoted Blood Rider and maybe a Raven. But Francisco is drawing cards now. Discarded a Gates of the Moon at random. Probably great for Francisco. 2 characters die. Yep, Blood Rider and Raven. Are we going to see a power? The Plaza of Pride has used discarded Jogo to stand the raiding Kalasar. Now Jogo is dead, isn't he? Yeah. And he's doing a power for 6, which he could have done, I guess, a power challenge with Viserys. But didn't. And then maybe use the Plaza of Pride more selectively when the challenges came in, because now he cannot defend against the military. So the game is definitely slowing down. This could go to time. Well, it almost certainly will go to time if Francisco starts making a comeback, but I don't think there's going to be time to get all that power unless they speed up. No mutinies. We're awaiting standing phase actions. We have none. Balerion as a character with a military icon is just so funny. I don't disagree. I mean, there's something strange about. I mean, cats. We know cats are evil, right? So a military icon, fine. Cannot be killed. Well, fine. But how annoying is it? It's really annoying to me that a cat is an unkillable military icon. The cool thing about the cat, though, is kneel to discard a gold from a card. I quite like that. That's nice. Cannot be killed. Don't like that. Seems a bit crazy. Seems a bit like a nuts card and an archetype you don't ever want to play again. And I think it was invented by a card dedicated to ZGZ tournament. Probably designed by them and is silly, I guess. In my view. Silly. Miss Sunday. Now, Francisco had a power icon and he had a power because he won dominance. Introducing power into the game is one sure way to speed it up. Balerion can potentially kill an 8-cost army, Or if you run him in Stark, he can potentially kill multiple 8-cost armies if you play Winter is Coming and they were already nil. One cat killing legions and legions of people. Told you cats were evil. Looks like Zinyu Yi's deck is just full of events and attachments. He hadn't been able to play a super impactful plot at this point, but he may draw into a Targaryen character who can put into play with his plot. Nice watch there with Littlefinger's meddling. Now that has changed, been redesigned to the first event you play each phase by 2, so you have events that get played in multiple phases, you will get a reduction rather than just a reduction of 2 on every single event you play. Which, you know, these cards seem fun at first, but they can get very abusive when you just store your thing. That is why I also don't particularly like cards like the Iron Bank, because you can get 10 gold on it and then you just wait for a turn. You know, you get to turn 6 and suddenly you do all this stupid shit where combos start. Blackbird. So we're going to get double wall. If only we had old Tattersalt. Because that is obviously a nice combination. You can nail Blackbird to bring old Tattersalt back to the shadows and get multiple searches. So let's see who Targaryen can give. So this is tougher now. Drogo's dead. That's for sure. Kotho is dead. Probably going to be... Okay, a raiding Khalasar. Didn't see that coming. Why not, for example, Dothraki Honor Guard? There would only be 4 strength. I guess Francisco can still marshal more cards, so that's probably quite bad. We know he had a Messenger Raven. So let's ignore that. Francisco's got to hurry up a bit now because he does have the advantage. He's in the ascendancy, but he's playing a little bit too slow to get through multiple rounds with 8 minutes on the clock. So yeah, gotta hurry up if you want to win this game. That said, Targaryen haven't even marshalled yet. Not that he got many cards. We know Illyrio the State is one of them. Come on, Francisco, let's go, let's move. Night gathers. I mean, it's going to be really sad if Targaryen's last plot is a reset, which almost certainly it should be. I mean, who plays with no reset these days? That is astounding arrogance. I passed you right. Well done, Connor. So if there is a character in hand, it will come out from the plot. 1 honor guard. I think that is all he can afford. Everyone leaving the game now. They're not sure what's taking so long, but it's not going to help you. Yeah, he does need to hurry. He's taken at least 3 or 4 minutes over this marshalling phase, and he needed to be able to do it quicker. Riley looking at the new card, the new Barra attachment, seems OP with Salador Thorn. It does seem really good, especially with the return the smuggler to hand when you win initiative, or when initiative is it lower initiative? Because if you play Valar Morghulis, which had a low initiative, the reaction to winning initiative or losing an initiative happened before when revealed, so the smuggler will come back to hand before the board get reset. So that seems really strong. Rakara duplicate coming into play. Let's note that also he's running two different Rakaras, which is interesting. I do like to see this. So I'm not sure if we're even going to see one more round. What are we waiting on here? Enlighten me, someone. He played Blood of My Blood, but he's taking an age. Aha. Is this gamesmanship to run down the clock? I mean, all you've got to do is click a character, right? There aren't that many to choose from. Hago. Yeah, Jogo and Kotho are dead, so it's really going to be Ago, Hago, Koholo. Go for a power icon. Going for the power. He's got claim, but he's got to get past 15 strength of power, which he can't do. But then that does at least mean Francisco has to kneel his whole power icon board out, and then he can't attack back, which I think I would do, but taking your time to do it. Eating up the second before the next round. We have a nightmares. Who's been nightmares? Plaza Pride. Nice. Yeah, Connor makes the point that Francisco has two stands, Left Hand Lou and the Bay of Seals. I find it incredible that this round started with 11 minutes on the clock, I think, and we might not hit the end of it before, when Francisco really needed 2, maybe even 3 rounds to overturn the power deficit. Mag the Mighty. Yeah, well, Mag's going to do some work, isn't he? Military with Mag. Kill himself. Presume he might want the Intimidate though. Of course, if this was an untimed game, I imagine Francisco would win. It's not an untimed game. So there we go. It's one of the problems with playing decks that go long, such as, you know, decks like this, Varys decks. They can just go a long time. When you have more considered players, you just don't have time to get to time and then win and re-overtake the power deficit. Right, so we have Hago dead, Rakhara dupe gone, intrigue coming through. I'm going to have to go some in 50 seconds to hit the next round, but still. People taking 6 years in an action window. Yeah, it's frustrating. But they could have played quicker earlier in the match. If you're playing Night's Watch Greenside, you know that your game's probably going to be long. You probably need a few more repetitions so that you have how to play the deck down in your mind, so you can play it quickly without having to take time on decision. Time is up. Can't believe this round took 11 minutes. GG. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, damn time. I think, unfortunately, your marshalling in the last round, Francisco, was a little bit too longer than you would have wanted. I think it did take 4 or 5 minutes. His opponent has offered him another turn. I think they'll play it out, which is a nice gesture. I like that. I'm interested to see what the final plots are. Going to 7 rounds should be the minimum, I think, in a game. There are cards that slow the game down, such as like Duran Martel, 7-cost Duran, who just takes icons and make challenge phases an absolute nightmare, and they take an age. What were they? The Mad King's Command. Nice. Against Loan from the Iron Bank. Mad King Command going to do some serious work. Neither player has cards in hand. So discarded the Iron Throne and the Devoted Bloodrider. Well, this is interesting. In my mind. 3 gold collected by a target player, so 5 in total. No marshalling. Just a card into shadows. Is that the Aegon Targaryen? Yeah, might as well use the Isle of Ravens before it goes away. It's keeping the wall. He didn't trigger his Raven last round, probably because the game was going to be over. Still no characters with Queen's Crown. Hilarious. Right, let's have a Mad King Command. So I expect Francisco will keep the wall, the Iron Bank, and maybe the Bay of Seals. Pardon me. The Targ player will probably get rid of an Illyrio the State. Or maybe a Scar Hazardan, because he's not really going to be discarding cards now, so Scar Hazardan will be the thing to go. And Francisco probably keeps the Honor Guard, the Khalasar. I don't know, maybe Left Hand Lou for stand. Oh dear, I'm tired now. This game has been exhausting. Have they fixed it? Yes, they have fixed it. So the first player chooses and you get to see what they choose. And then the second player chooses, which is how it should work. Fantastic. Very good for all the stock attachments, which I like to play. Very important for things like Frozen Solid, because it's no use knowing what location your opponent is keeping if your attachment depends on it. You know, for example, if your opponent keeping the location with your Frozen Solid, then you definitely have to pick Frozen Solid if you want to keep that there. But if your opponent's not picking them, then you don't have to pick Frozen Solid. You can pick one of your other attachments, etc. Alright, into a challenge phase. Francisco kept all the characters I said and all the locations I said. Very good. Zinyu Yi kept the Scar Hazadan. Here is Aegon Targaryen, and here is the raiding Khalasar, and here comes a massive challenge. Probably a power challenge, but will he win it? So we've got 12, 16, 20 against, he can't win it, against 22. There's one card in hand to use Plaza of Pride with. So maybe that he wants to fake it out. For example, intrigue with Aegon, or maybe a military of one of these characters, and then restand them depending on what the card is. We do have 2 stands on the Night's Watch side. So Targ doing the intrigue. See if he can tempt Left Hand Lou to kneel and block the unopposed, thereby depriving Francisco of a stand. Does not oppose. Lay waste. What's wrong with you, Connor? Do you want a Night's Watch to win or something? Incredible. Military. I told Rebecca I was only going to stream a short game, 30 minutes maybe. It's been like an hour and 5 and I'm in trouble. Big trouble. My dinner's going to go cold. I'm going to maybe get glared at. The baby's going to scowl at me. Where have you been, Dad? I'm so sorry, I was sat in a room dreaming to 4 people talking about this game that's taking forever. Not acceptable, Dad. Please forgive me, child. I'll watch Baby Shark with you for 16 hours. Cool, Francisco won the military on defence. We have a power coming in from Targ for 6. Will be defended, then we'll see some stands, and then we'll go again. Bay of Seals, standing, Dothraki, honour guard. I'm a bit tired, I'm losing the will to live. I wasn't feeling very good at the start, but I may end up just leaving this stream to run without my voice if I go and have some dinner or something. I can hear a screaming baby somewhere, so maybe it's my time to leave. Power totals are moving. You only have one more challenge available. What does he want it to be? Military might be the more impactful than intrigue, because if the intrigue was good, he would have used the Plaza of Pride to stand something. There we go. So now they've got all their plots back. What will we see them do? Will we see exchange of information from Targaryen? Get loads of cards back in hand? Will we see a reset from Francisco? Which I think would be really interesting to Valar the boards. We know Targaryen really struggling for characters, and there are still alive characters in the discard, perhaps. Rakhara is alive. Choco dead. Viserys would be dead if the other Valar dead. Choco dead. So I guess that's the only possible wall target. But no, late summer feast. Curious. I guess he is winning on the board. Oh dear. So tired. So tired. I'm going to step out and get myself a drink. I might be back in a minute. Sorry? I heard not the door. We're still live. The game is still on.
Oh, right, okay. So I thought I heard nothing.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Sorry about that, everyone.
Sorry.
I just needed a break from the screen. I'm just so tired.
It's been a long game.
It is a long game. Back. Has anything happened? Varys. Oh, God. This game getting longer and longer. Intrigue with Varys stealthing Aegon. Intrigue with Varys stealthing Aegon. Unopposed. Extra power, but another card given to Targaryen. You haven't had the wall trigger to take back Haro. Hello, Elsie. Hello.
Daddy.
Yeah?
Sorry, you?
Why are you wet?
We've been playing with water in the garden.
Oh. And now you're disrupting the stream, Kyle.
Come on, you. Say bye bye, Daddy. Oh, good girl.
Bye bye. I'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
Sorry about that brief interlude. Right, yeah, Francisco, power for 16, defended with 1. How have we got so many people watching the stream? I say so many people, it's not in double digits, and it never will be. But still, more than 3 is amazing at this point in the game. People must just be fascinated. It's like with morbid horror. Like you don't want to look, but you can't look away. You must see that if Francisco had 6 hours to play, he would win at some point. He's done his challenges. Let's see what comes back. Is it going to be a power with all of it for 19? You can't win it, so no. But he does have cards to stand with Plaza of Pride, so he may as well fake out something. I would probably do a military with a Kalasar if I could stand it. Force the defense. Are you going to go all in military? So this can be defended unless there is overwhelming numbers. And he could throw in a character from his hand plus the Rakaro in his discard. That would be impactful. And Xin Yu Yi has saved the 2 gold to do so. Francisco thinking of defending, which would be excellent for Targ if Targ does have overwhelming numbers, with the potential of putting that Rakaro in, because that Rakaro is going to have Intimidate too. Or will he come back to hand by then? Is it at the end of the challenge? At the end of the challenge. Yes, so the keyword will still apply. He defended with 8. Sensible move. No overwhelming numbers. Oh, is that Bakara? Thought it was Jogo, mate. Jesus Christ. Oh, what we got? When I Woke. Nice. Don't see that card very often, do you? Feels like a melee card, this. Yeah, so Targ won the military. Targ has to choose and get rid of a character. Nice. Very good. I like it. That's woke. Now, some people don't like wokeism, but Francisco definitely trying to leverage being woke. Iron Bank pillaged. Underground Vault pillaged. Intrigue for 3 will not be won by Francisco. Yeah, I think you had to in the Sea of Blood era. The Sea of Blood era was so shit, wasn't it? Put the sword, put the torch, all these reaction, kill all your stuff, 6 claim. I thought it was like at Worlds. It was just horrible at Worlds. It wasn't fun coming up against Sea of Blood. I think I had it in round 2 against Chris Thompson. And it was just an unpleasant game. It just wasn't fun. Like the best games when you sit down, you know it's going to be a good game, and whoever plays well has a chance of winning. But even if I played well in that game, I'd never had a chance of winning against the Sea of Blood. The Kotho cheat code, being able to jump in on any plot. Still got 4 viewers. Incredible. Well done for toughing it out so far. Maybe some of those have fallen asleep, which is understandable. Koholo. Discarded from pillage, and Koholo going into play with the wall. I'm thinking with Koholo, he can't do a challenge on his own. You can only participate in a already started challenge. You play some fun games this tournament, Connor. Which was the most fun for you? Give me this nugget of information. But I already have in my mind which one you're going to say. So say it and we will compare. Miha. Oh, that wasn't the one I was thinking, although that was actually really fun to watch. I was thinking of the Sea of Blood, where you just, ran roughshod over your opponent and made him very sad. But the Mia game was great, yeah. That one of Mira early in the round, blanking Delena, and then the one of Nightmares in the round you need it. Fantastic. Was that streamed? If Miha got that on stream, might have to watch that back again. 8-11 going into round 9. Close call into meddling. Meddling. So I'm not sure why there was no Varys. Probably because Francisco doesn't have a hand and Zinyu has a hand. Was what streamed? Your game against Miha. Did Mihail stream it? Oh, Wakaro. When I woke Wakaro has now backfired. I streamed it. Me? Oh yeah. Didn't I? Oh, with Rebecca, wasn't I? She made a tea. We streamed it. But yeah, I remember now. Connor, you really should. I really should get a headset, and you should stream this with me, rather than me talking to myself and talking to you via chat. But I don't know how the headset works. I'll have to work that out. I need a tech guy. But it would be nice to actually stream it with somebody. That's not Rebecca when Rebecca's looking after the baby. But that said, the tournament ends tomorrow. And then there's no more of this tournament. That's sad. Then there's just in real life regionals. Of which Northampton Regional is on the 6th of August and you should attend. Yes. Wait, is that the right date? Yeah, I think it is. What? Oh, the game's been going for too long. It's kicked them all out. This is what happens when the game goes long after time ends. Well, that's going to conclude the stream, I'm afraid. Thank you for watching. Commiseration to Francisco. Congratulations to Zinyu. GG. You booked it off, depending on train cost. Good work, Connor. I'll see you all on the next stream. Maybe. Bye for now.